we start the lesson today. Photosynthesis. It is section 6.1 page 111. So please open your book and follow with me. Okay, photosynthesis is the process by which, you know this طبعا from your previous study, photosynthesis is the process by which the plants make light or convert light energy to chemical energy in the food. Light energy from the sun into chemical energy in food. Okay, طيب. One important thing before I start, we want to revise what is the meaning of biochemical pathway. You took before that in photosynthesis the plant takes carbon dioxide, right? And yes, water in presence of light energy and chlorophyll to form a sugar or organic substance, carbohydrates plus oxygen, right? Actually, it is not that easy. This is the overall reaction, but the reaction itself is called biochemical pathway. So what is biochemical? But طبعا this is science grade 5. Now we are in grade 10. So for sure we have to take something more detailed. Okay, biochemical pathway okay, is series of reaction in which W عليها dash يعني in which the products, concentrate in this, the products in one خلاص enter as a reactant in another. What does this mean, a teacher? يعني for example, if A plus B gives C, and then we take the product of this reaction, which is C, and it enters as a reactant in another reaction. C plus D gives E. And then the product of this reaction enter as a reactant in the next. So E, for example, plus F gives G, and so on. This is called biochemical pathway. It is series of reactions in which the product in one enter as a reactant in another. The product in the second enter as a reactant in the third, and so on. So what is this? This is the overall, يعني as if I say that A plus B gives G. The very starting reactant and the very last product. Okay, so in this section we will start بقى to explain these steps in details, the biochemical pathway. Okay, طيب. Before we start, this is page 1. خلاص. So here we talked about that photosynthesis changes light energy to chemical energy, and we revised the overall reaction we took, and then we said that it is a biochemical pathway, means it is not one step, it is a series of reaction in which the product in one enters as a reactant in the other, and so on. وبالتالي take care, if any of the substances in the previous steps are missed, the final product will not be formed. يعني if there is no C, يبقى this reaction will not take place, يبقى this reaction will not take place, يبقى G اللي هو الفاينل برودكت اللي هو الكربوهيدرات will not be formed. This is clear? Okay. طيب. And here طبعا also you know this diagram, you know the photosynthesis and the cellular respiration is opposite reactions, right? يعني or opposite processes. يعني in photosynthesis carbon dioxide plus water in presence of energy, light energy, we make a, or the plant make a sugar اللي هو الفود plus oxygen. خلاص. طيب what happens in respiration? Food burned by oxygen. When we eat food and when we breathe oxygen, a chemical reaction takes place between the sugar or the food and the oxygen in our cells, خلاص, to form a carbon dioxide and water vapor, that the products we exhale with the exhaled air, and a energy. And this energy released from this process, we use it in performing our vital processes, okay? So they are opposite to each other. So to use energy, this is photosynthesis, okay? And to release energy, this is the opposite one, is a respiration. Yes, excellent. Okay, طيب. And also we know that the percentage of carbon dioxide and oxygen are maintained constant in the atmosphere because of this reaction. يعني when we breathe, we take oxygen and we release carbon dioxide, and this means that the oxygen in the atmosphere will decrease and the carbon dioxide will increase. But if we have green areas, so the plant will take this carbon dioxide and convert it to a oxygen again. So if there is a balance between the photosynthesis and the respiration, this will maintain the concentration of carbon dioxide and the oxygen are a constant in the atmosphere. This is clear? This is clear, ya Farah? Okay, can you repeat what I said? Why? So again, I say that photosynthesis and respiration are opposite processes. In photosynthesis, we take carbon dioxide and we release oxygen. In respiration, we take oxygen to burn food to give carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Okay? So this means that there must be a balance between the number of the individuals that respire and the amount of the green areas. All right? Or else by respiration the oxygen will decrease, and the carbon dioxide will increase. You got it? So there will be a problem, environmental problem. Okay. Right. The photosynthesis processes are divided into two main stages. Photosynthesis is divided into two main stages. What are them? Light reaction and dark reaction. Okay, and pay attention to this. Me myself, I don't like the term dark reaction. I prefer the term light independent. You know why? Because some people think that light reaction means it takes place during daytime and dark reaction takes place during nighttime, and this is wrong. Light reaction and dark reaction, not because they happens in light and in dark, day and night, no. All the photosynthesis reaction, the light reaction and dark reaction, both of them takes place during daytime. But light reaction is so called because the limiting factor here is the light. Okay, what is the limiting factor? Limiting factor is light. And the limiting factor is the factor that limits or controls the rate of reaction. بمعنى إنه the greater the light intensity, give me the red pen please, the red marker. The greater the light intensity, the greater the amount of product, the greater the rate of the reaction. Okay? And the less the light intensity, the less the rate of reaction. The light intensity is the factor that controls the rate of reaction, which controls whether the reaction would be fast or will be slow. Okay? Dark reaction, so again, it is not called dark reaction because it takes place during night or during darkness. It is so called because light is not the limiting factor. Okay? Here, the brown one, light, limiting factor is not light. Limiting factor is temperature and carbon dioxide concentration. What is the meaning of this? I will explain it after I finish, okay? But this is why I prefer the term light independent reaction. Yani the rate of reaction, how fast the reaction is, does not depend on the light intensity. It depends on other factors like temperature and carbon dioxide, as I will explain to you. Okay, so here light is not limiting limiting factor. Okay, so it is light independent reaction. Okay, and this is page 2. So again, we said here in the photosynthesis and respiration are opposite processes, and we divided the photosynthesis into 2 main stages according what is the limiting, whether the light is the limiting factor, it's called light reaction or light dependent reaction, or the light is not the limiting factor, it is not the factor that controls how fast the reaction is, so it is called also light independent reaction. And what are the limiting factors here? Temperature and carbon dioxide, how they affect the rate of reaction. This I will explain it later. Okay, طيب. Where light and dark reaction takes place, they take place in a structure in the plant cell called what?
I have no idea.
Chloroplast. Okay, so for sure طبعا we cannot explain what are the reactions of the photosynthesis without explaining or revising the structure of the chloroplast. طيب, we took in chapter 5 the structure of chloroplast.
Thylakoid.
Yes. Chloroplast structure. أولا it is single membranous or double membranous?
Double.
Yes, it's double. Here it is the outer and inner membrane. This is a 3D. I will draw it 2D for you for simplicity. Okay, this is the 2 membranes. I will draw it like this. It's like a discoid shape. Okay, and it has 2 membranes, outer and inner. Okay, طيب. Inside the chloroplast, we will find like membranous structures called what? Yes, each membrane I draw is called thylakoid, and this bile of thylakoid is called what, ya doctor? Grana. Okay, like this. Okay, type. And on the grana or the thylakoid arranged what? The pigments that will absorb, like chlorophyll, that will absorb the light. But why Allah makes like this? To increase the surface area, to ensure, subhanallah, to ensure that each molecule of the pigments will be exposed to the light. Okay, يعني بصوا يا جماعة, لو الchlorophyll molecules دول are clumped like this, يبقى this means that only the molecules here will be exposed to the light, but the molecule inside will not be exposed to the light. Okay, يبقى وجودهم زي عدمه. But if we take all these molecules and we arrange it one by one like this, so we ensure that each molecule is exposed to a light energy. You got it? Okay, طيب. So this is double membrane. Okay, this is thylakoid. The one membrane is called thylakoid. Okay, a pile of thylakoid all together like this, they make what's called granum. Granum are called grana. The plural is grana. Okay, type. And then these thylakoid or these grana are embedded in fluid called stroma. Okay, طب if I ask you, just guess كده, reaction called light dependent reaction, do you think it takes